That's what Trends is all about. And I'm going to tap on to my experience of working as a general counsel or in-house counsel for multinational organizations. As lawyers, we tend to be not only arbitrators and policymakers, but we also run the show. We pretty much are the deal makers. So if you're working for an organization which is as big as a Goldman Sachs or a Cisco Systems or a Microsoft, you're just not being a lawyer, you're also being a business person. So you need to understand the multi-levels of a discussion that are going to go in for. So if you're going for a JV or a joint venture, if you're going for a negotiation on a mergers and acquisitions deal, you need to understand the different perspective that you're going to touch on. So if you're negotiating in India and you're negotiating with an American organization, you need to understand the American law of how it's going to work out. If you're negotiating with an Indian organization which has a multi-jurisdictional presence, you need to understand the aspect that you're going to touch upon. So I think that's very important. So having a dual qualified lawyer is very, very important for multinational organizations. So if you have a degree of law and you're registered in India, that's excellent. But if you have a dual qualification, and if you're registered in the New York bar, then you also qualify as a lawyer who is qualified to know or American law. So I think that's extremely important. So you get the employment is far easier for a dual qualified lawyer than to be a qualified lawyer in a domestic jurisdiction. I think that's extremely important. I represent, I'm present at, I'm an alumni of a law school known as Benjamin and Cardozo School of Law. So we are based in New York, and we specialize in a lot of programs. So I'm a graduate from, I graduated way back, some 16 years back, and I specialized in a subject area of intellectual property law. I found it very interesting, very challenging, because as a practicing counsel or as an in-house counsel, you do tend to tap onto intellectual property a lot of times. If you're working for a Google, you need to learn a little bit about cybersecurity. You need to learn a little bit about domain name issues and all those things. So I think those are very important issues that you kind of have to look at. Apart from that, what I'm going to tap onto is the fact that as lawyers, we also get the opportunity of working with organizations as big as United Nations and all those organizations. So there, your skills as a transactional lawyer is not required. It's more of your skill as a policymaker is what is required. So even there, you can be a good transactional lawyer, but you also need to understand how the policy are made. So I think that's what I'm going to talk about in my experience, because I started my career way back 16 years back as a United Nations lawyer, and I worked for United Nations. And the skill sets that I required at the point of time were very different from a skill set that I require as a practicing counsel or as an in-house counsel. So I think the global trends are my analysis or my demystification is in terms of being a global lawyer, understanding the globalized world and working with globalized organizations. So multi-jurisdictional aspect of it is very important. Secondly, dual qualification really helps to get employment, but also to get ahead in your career. I think it's very, very important. If you're aiming to be a general counsel for a multi-billion-dollar organization, I think dual qualification really helps. And I think thirdly is with regard to understanding the issue on a multi-level. So if you're just doing an international deal, you can't just think of one particular repercussion in one particular domestic market. You need to understand how it's going to affect, your sales in United States or for that matter Europe as well. So I think those are the issues that you have to talk about. Apart from that, I think being a good transactional lawyer and a good arbitrator, because a lot of times multinationals don't want to go to court. They want to go in for an arbitration, and that's very important to not only understand litigation but also arbitration as to how you want to perceive the particular legal question, and the privacy issues are very important in that sense. So I think that's my analysis of how the global trends are and how, as lawyers, we can contribute towards understanding how a globalized organization works in. All right? Perfect, thank you.